This is the second in a series of short videos that I'm putting together on the various European dog sports. This video was filmed when I was at Michael Ellis' school in California on dog training. I spent 2 weeks with Michael filming some protection dog videos during his class on protection work. In this class, Michael talks about the various dog sports and explains the rules of the sport and how the various sports affect the dogs based on the rules and the exercises in the sport. Now, this streaming video is the last half of Michael Ellis's explanation on the KNPV. When this is finished, we will cover the IPO and Schutzen. We will cover the Belgian ring sport. We will cover the French ring sport and the Mondio ring. These various dog sports will be covered in the following newsletters over the next couple of weeks. Now, this video picks up where the Monday's newsletter left off. If you missed that, you can go to the streaming webpage on my website and watch the part 1 of the KNPV explanation.
Right. And then all the pressure in the work in KNPV comes from the helper as the dog's coming to the bite. So they'll scream, they'll run at the dog, they'll hit the dog with a stick when they're coming to bite. Then once the dog's on the bite, the helper basically stands still. And what they want to see is that the dog stays in there and continues to fight somebody that's passive. And again, these are things that you want in a police dog. The dog will go far away, work independently. He's committed. He'll go through pressure. Somebody hits him. It doesn't deter him. And then once he's there, he doesn't need a lot of stimulation to keep biting. If you guys stand dead still, the dog will stay in there and bite somebody that's completely passive. And again, this is a part of the selection process. They don't care so much, though individuals do, but the sport itself, the evaluation process, doesn't care so much about how the dogs bite, whether they bite full and calm or not. So when we talk about the German sport and some of the other sports, it's very important how the dogs actually bite. What the judges are looking for in KNPV is a very committed dog. And if they bite like this and shake a lot or make noise, but everything else says this dog's very committed, they have no problem with that, and your dog will score well and go on. Because again, on the street, in practical police type work, it doesn't really matter how your dog bites, assuming he's committed and confident. So if he bites full and calm, it doesn't matter. It still stops people from doing whatever they're doing. If you're biting hard with commitment, it stops, right? And then they have some other kind of interesting pieces that they do, like they have healing with a handler on a bicycle. They have attacks with a bad guy riding away on a bicycle. Holland is a country full of bicycles, so they do a lot of bicycle-related stuff. The dogs in KNPV always guard. They never call them back from biting a guy. They have one exercise where they send the dog and they call the dog back to them before he gets to the guy, basically a call-off or a stopped attack. But on every bite, the dog outs and guards the guy. This is a big, and I say this because this is a big problem. Police departments in the States get KNPV dogs all the time to do police work because they're a big supplier for brokers to do police work, and they make very good police dogs frequently. These dogs have never been recalled off a bite in their life. They've always outed and guarded the man, stayed there and barked. Lots of them teach the dog when they bite, they let go and they go around and stand behind the guy and bark at his back there. But so they're not in front, theoretically, so they're not in front where they can be hit and things like that. But the dogs always guard. Here in the States, many, and lots of police departments, a lot of places, will out their dog and call the dog back to them from biting the guy because it makes it safer for the dog. It's a tactical thing for them. So the dog's biting, and if I ask my dog to out and guard, he's right there standing next to the guy. So if the guy has a stick or a lead pipe or something like that, he potentially hurts my dog. So lots of them will call the dog out and back to them. If you're working a KNPV dog, the dog has, and I now have a 3 or 4-year-old dog that has never done that in his life. And many, many people have big problems with these dogs because they're asking them to do something that they don't understand how to do, right? So that's one of the examples of understanding the sport background the dogs come from when you start to take them into different disciplines. If you didn't know that about KNPV dogs, you would just assume that the dog wasn't listening to you. And lots of dogs get punished extensively for not coming back when they had no idea what that meant, right? There was no training involved in showing the dog how to do that. So the KNPV, big supplier of police dogs. The dogs tend to be, there's less emphasis on control. So what would be a good out in KNPV, a good release on the dog's part, would get you almost no points in ring sport or Schutzhund. The dogs let go frequently very slowly compared to what we would like in some of the other sports. But it's a practical police dog thing. They don't really care if the dogs let go fast on the street. And frequently, once the dog's on the street, they go pry the dog off. They don't ask them to let go at all anymore. But so knowing that about the KNPV, it spawns a certain kind of dog. The dogs are very robust, very physical. Their control tends to be not so good. They let go kind of slowly. They're powerful dogs, confident dogs that like to search a lot. So if we make a gross generalization about the Dutch program, that's the kind of dog that it's selecting for. And they like dogs that have some aggression as well, right? They like a dog that gets angry relatively easily. And so those dogs, you see them more and more coming into sport-type environments as well for other sports, people getting dogs from the Dutch-type bloodlines, and those dogs behave very differently than a dog from a French background or a Belgian background or even a German background might. Right? And just knowing a little bit about the sport and the selection process will help you kind of understand that. So that's a KNPV.
And on Monday, we will have the explanation for what the IPO is and how it relates to Schutzhund. If you'd like to watch some of the free streaming videos that I have on my website, you can go to this web address now. I have a number of free streaming training videos and then a number of product videos also.